So, welcome back everybody, watching the Gigabyte Dota Masters Tournament. I'm Triumphant Man, joining me is Gods from Absolute Legends, and tonight we've got Invictus Gaming on the Radiant side. They're going to be up against SpaceMonkeys. Now this is Group B action, and this will decide whether or not, this match will decide whether or not IG go forward into the playoff round or SpaceMonkeys take their place. So, definitely an important game for both teams. But Gods, what do you think we're going to see today? Some aggressiveness from IG, or do you think they're going to be... When we saw them last match, they were very worried because if they lost that match against Stars Boba, they were going to be knocked out pretty much, or they were likely to be knocked out, so they went very, very defensive and very safe. Do you think we'll see the same kind of play for them now, as this is a very important match?
I think we could, they could go, they're going to play to their strengths, which is the safer, slower style of play, but at the same time, they know they can't be too defensive or they'll just get punished, like MUFC, LGD, and Orange have already done. Up against, I think it was one of their games against MUFC where they just sat back and they got a bit of a lead, but in the end, MUFC just easily got back into the game. So this game, IG may be looking to change things up. They have already got Zhou as the captain now. I know Xuan was just sort of temporarily doing the bans and picks while his team adjusted to Dota 2, and I also know there's been a talk with Xuan a bit, and he's saying they want to change their style. They want to play a bit more aggressive and sort of adapt more to the European style of play, or not just the European ways. If you look at these other teams, DK, LGD, they're playing very aggressive at the moment.
Yeah, well, we've seen, and DK is another team that's had, their switch-ups in the past. Of course, Burning was not originally one of the hard carry players. I believe it was... Oh, who was it? I can't remember which player it was now, but he used to be, one of the hard supports now used to be one of their hard carries, so the Chinese team's not afraid to mix things up and just adapt to find a better style of play amongst their teammates. But Chen banned, Furion banned, Lycan and Brewmaster banned by SpaceMonkeys. In fact, they had the first pick. They decided they didn't want to use either one of them, and they decided, well, I'm going to make sure IG can't get their hands on them either. But pretty stock standard ban so far. Nothing too surprising or anything out of the ordinary. I am kind of expecting to see Invoker getting taken off the board as well.
Yeah, I'd agree with the Invoker ban, and there goes the Darkseid. That's the hero that I expect IG to be quite familiar with and quite happy to use. It's very popular in the Chinese scene, even in Dota 1. And a hero that I'm almost sure we picked up in these first 6 weeks, which we've seen a lot, but also seen recently in ban, is going to be the Listrak. Listrak is just sort of the flavor of the week, or not even the week, flavor of the month, really, as it's just been so popular for the pushing power, and just the fact it can just be played as a support or a semi-carry. It's actually going to be banned out. I wasn't quite expecting it to be banned, but I'm not surprised.
Yeah, he's just so damn good. I would say more than a month. He's been going back so far, and immediately SpaceMonkeys go, well, look, you've let Invoker go through, we'll grab him up. Now we've got that utility. Again, he's relatively flexible. He does, of course, he does have a bit of a weakness. If his team comes under a lot of early pressure, he can't respond to it. So if you've got that solo mid and you need some help pretty early because they're getting aggressive, trying to take advantage of a weak lane, Invoker is one of those heroes who just cannot provide any kind of aid just because he takes I think he needs a good 6 or 7 levels to get going before he's really useful. But immediately, IG goes straight for Queen of Pain as well as the Windrunner. So they've got a nice... Well, they've got some pretty flexible heroes. Queen of Pain can take the solo mid. Sometimes we see her go in the safe lane and they run a couple of supports with her. In this case, kind of hard to tell so far. And of course, Windrunner can be placed just about anywhere. I'm kind of expecting to see her in the Suicide solo though. That's her usual spot.
Yeah, I agree on that. Although every now and then, the Chinese teams are known for running the dual lanes. Generally, it's a dual lane mid, dual lane bottom. With the hard lane going to a hero like Windrunner or a Puck, or even the Broodmother they sometimes pick up. Broodmother is a hero we haven't seen much of, which I think is someone underpicked, but we're going to see what SpaceMonkeys want to go. Probably going to see Dan playing that Invoker. He's played it already at least once, maybe twice in this tournament, and we'll see what else they want to get here. They're going to go with a DK, so very early DK pick as well as the Enigma. I like the Enigma pick. That's a hero which has been very effective lately. Not even run in the jungle, just as a side lane solo or even a solo mid. It's just great at controlling the lane with the Eidolon's help lasting and also pulling the wave back where he can farm quite safely near his tower, which you're denying with the conversion.
IG going to grab the Earthshakers. They've got a lot of lane control. They've got a lot of good nukes, a couple of good stuns. I'm thinking they might pair the ES up with a Crystal Maiden or a VS. Just they're two pretty usual suspects for roaming around together and causing trouble as supports. Although then again, the Chinese are the teams that are normally actually... When we see Windrunner used as a hard support, the Chinese are the teams that... Well, the type of teams that tend to do it, but it is still pretty rare. It does happen every now and then, and VS getting banned, there we go. I think this is a pretty smart ban from SpaceMonkeys, grabbing up that Enigma last and then banning the VS, just because she is just such a really good counter to Enigma. That swap, even if you get a BKB, VS just needs to be careful, make sure she never gets caught out, and then immediately the black hole is just never going to happen. It is very, very annoying to play against. Rasta
yeah, no, I agree. And yeah, Rasta being banned, but the Vengeful Spirit, it's just a great support here, and right now ID don't have any support, which is why we're also seeing the Venomance being banned. I mean, one of the Enigma's not always picked just for the big black hole, but just right now, banning out those support heroes, maybe going to force IG thinking about something like a Crystal Maiden, but at the same time, SpaceMonkeys don't really have many supports of their own, so if they grab up that Crystal Maiden, we'll suddenly see very few options left for IG for that last support. Heroes like Lich, maybe even the Witch Doctor we've seen a couple times will suddenly have to become maybe a last-minute support.
I don't know, I kind of think we'd see the Crystal Maiden just because she's so damn good, and they've got the range too. Like, the range on the Earthshake and the Crystal Maiden makes a very, very dangerous pair, especially if they're just going to try and set up those early kills, but really depends where they're going to go with this. I mean, are they going to try and run the Queen of Pain bottom, or are they going to put her in the solo mid? Broodmother is being banned though. Oh, I honestly don't know if they really could have worked the Broodmother into the current lineup on the on the dire side. I mean, if they took that, that's 4 farming heroes. I mean,
Enigma can go in the jungle, but even then, it's some weak lanes.
Yeah, it would be a little questionable. Hey, you know what? If they're worried about it, might as well get rid of it. Now, whose turn is it? Okay, so it's the next pick for SpaceMonkeys. What will they grab? Oh, I'm kind of expecting to grab up some supports. There we go. They're grabbing the Crystal Maiden, going to secure her. And they need, well, yeah, like you said, actually, they're a little light on supports at the moment. So we might, yeah, see the Witch Doctor get picked up. Or then again, when teams seem to be running low on supports, actually in this GDM, we've seen Lion tends to be the sort of the backup semi-support, which, if they're running dual lanes, isn't horrendous. I think it's when they're running the tri-lane or even the roaming, really hard support roamers, that's when I think the Lion pick is really, really terrible, just because he needs those levels. He's low-level stuns and disables are completely and utterly terrible. But if he's running a dual lane, it's not so bad. So if that's what they're planning for, and I mean, he really could work well with something like the DK, just they would have a lot of stun and a decent amount of nuke in that lane if he was going to back him up, but we'll see what they do.
Yeah, and they could, I mean, it's one of those things where maybe they were planning on picking up a Crystal Maiden here, but with all those sort of top tier supports being taken, the CM, the Vengeful Spirit, and the Venomancer, they may just decide that Windrunner as a support is better than picking a hero like Witch Doctor, and they can then run the ES Windrunner as their 2 supports and pick up some other side lane solos and semi-carries for their team. I mean, even a hero like Puck could come into play here for IG, depending on how they want to do this. It's a nice initiative. If they want to be a bit more aggressive, like we've talked about, they can't just sit back. Puck could be one of those heroes to lead those ganks and get some momentum going their way. It's, at the moment, I mean, maybe another thing they haven't been doing is picking up many hard carries. I mean, they've been playing fairly safe and slow and steady, but they haven't been going for a hard carry to help them in the late game. So maybe they'll decide, go for something like the Morphling or the Anti-Mage here to help out-carry their opponents. Because right now, I mean, there's the Enigma, the DK, not a huge amount of push power. It's not going to be just about the pushing here. Maybe a hero like Morphling or Anti-Mage could find some room to get some farm.
Yeah, well, when they played against Starsbow, they ran the Mirana carry, which worked. They had a lot of farm on her. She got out of control really quickly with an early Midas. I think Furion had one as well that match. But Ancient Apparition, I suppose, well, actually, I mean, it's not guaranteed that he will be a support, just because, well, Windrunner does get used. And I mean, when I've seen the Chinese teams play in the past in Dota 1, Ancient Apparition is something they do enjoy as a solo mid, and if they do run the Windrunner, I mean, the Windrunner is still definitely a viable support hero. She can do it. It is definitely possible. So this is, I guess, this is definitely the power of picking your flexible heroes first, just so you can really adapt the lineup as the bans come out. But I mean, then again, we may see Ancient Apparition. There's no reason Ancient Apparition couldn't support in this case. He could possibly set up some decent cold feet with some good fissures, but I don't know. Yeah. We'll see. It's still.
And at the same time, they can play the Queen of Pain, Windrunner, and Ancient Apparition as their solos and farmers. I mean, if they want to put Windrunner as a side like AA mid and Queen of Pain at bottom, they can just pick up a support or a jungle hero with this last pick. There aren't actually too many jungle heroes left unless they go for something a bit unorthodox.
If they want that.
Oh, and yeah, that's actually true. Enchantress is there. I assumed it was bad. Enchantress, I mean, if they want to be aggressive, they just go for an Enchantress here. And they can run the ES with the Queen of Pain at bottom. The Windrunner can go top, AA at mid, and around when AA hits level 6, they can be getting ganks all across the map. Enchantress can be ganking and pushing. That could be a really nice addition to their team. But whether that's sort of IG, I mean, that's not IG style, but whether or not that's something they want to try out here, we'll have to wait and see.
I mean, it's not IG, considering it's not IG style, I don't think it'll happen just because, well, this is a really important game. And SpaceMonkeys, they're not really that high rated as a team, but at the same time, they're not exactly a bunch of pushovers. If you do give them a bit of space, they will strangle you with it. So, got to be careful. Really got to be careful about that. So, I'm kind of expecting them to go with something safe, something they're familiar with, so they can afford. And Sven's a bit of an interesting pick. I really find him a little lackluster as a support, but then again, we're kind of low on supports. And in fact, AL, you guys ran one last night, in fact. And I didn't catch the end of that match. I went off to play Diablo, but it looked like it was going pretty pear-shaped against M5.
Yeah, the support Sven is one of those heroes where if you do well early, it's okay, but if you don't get those early kills, and he becomes really useless in the mid to late game, and the reason for that is because his stun, it's got a 15-second cooldown, and he just can't do much. You end up just walking around unable to do anything. You can't run in and hit people because of being a melee hero who doesn't do much DPS, and the stun, 15-second cooldown, it's just not that great, and here we go. It is going to be a hard carry for IG, the Morphling.
I need to reconnect, my game is not behaving.
No problem, man.
1 moment.
Well,
okay,
not too much being missed out on at the moment. Xuan is not actually going to be playing. We've seen him play Mirana a couple times, so he's going to be on the Earthshaker. So switching roles a bit here, as we've got Zhou, the captain, playing the Morphling, playing the main farmer for IG.
No, my mouse is currently, whenever I click on the screen to like try, it pings. Like you see the spectator pings, that's me clicking just on the map. So I'm actually going to have to close down Dota 2. 1 second, guys. Give us a moment.
No problem, man. As Sven will be played as a support here. We've got the Crystal Maiden and the Sven heading top. Sven with some wards. Crystal Maiden bought the chicken and sentries. They're going to be looking to creep ball here, and DK going to the top lane with them. We're going to see Crystal Maiden, Sven, and DK in a tri lane, and they're going to be up against the side lane solo Windrunner. So this will be a tough lane for the Windrunner. A lot of killing power, a lot of disable from that tri lane. And mid lane we've got Queen of Pain soloing out Ferrari, the famous Invoker player, going to be playing that solo mid, and Ancient Apparition in support, going to be starting off bottom. So we're seeing EA, AA, and Morphling at bottom. So tri-lane versus solo at bottom. We've got the tri-lane versus Enigma, and top lane we've got the tri-lane with the DK, Crystal Maiden, and Sven up against the Windrunner. And I think Enigma should do okay bottom because he can use that conversion to pull the way back, whereas top lane Windrunner does not have anything to pull the way back to that tower, as we see early Observer Ward in that top lane. And we're going to see whether or not Windrunner can get any farm, get any creep kills here. As Sven may be looking for an early rune, early gank. Could even be going helping mid out.
Finally, I'm back in just in time. Nothing's happened. Or nothing significant's happened. And yeah, the game is finally behaving. Just need to restart that. Probably should have done it earlier, I guess.
Sweet.
But yeah, so just Crystal Maiden, DK up the top. In the mid, have we got a roaming kill here? Sven is roaming to mid straight away. Might be trying to set something up here, or it just could be. It's going to be difficult to get this mid player just because Queen of Pain's got the blink and they can't, well, he can't really get in. As soon as he moves in, she's just going to jump out. And Dan, like Invoker doesn't even have Cold Snap up yet to try and even sort of give him even a moment to get in there. And he's actually just wasting a lot. Like, I think he's waiting for that Cold Snap to come, but he's wasting a lot of time. Here we go, Cold Snap is up.
I don't think he's going to go for this kill, even with Cold Snap. There's not a chance you can kill a hero like Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain hasn't actually leveled anything up yet. Could get the blink if needed. There goes the Cold Snap just under the tower. Only gets 1 hit on top of it. And yeah, they're going to use this creep pull at top to get Crystal Maiden and Sven. Mostly the Sven some farm. As you can see, Windrunner is not even gotten any XP or farm. Windrunner is just sitting back blocking the creep wave because Windrunner probably expects the Sven to be in the jungle, but Sven was actually near mid. Probably more so there. I'd say the greater reason Sven was there was in case the supports, the ES and the AA, went for an early smoke gank, Sven could come out with a stun to try to save the Invoker. It wasn't actually going to be looking for a kill.
That makes perfect sense, actually, because, yeah, he wasn't actually doing anything. He was just sort of sitting around waiting for Sam to finish stacking before she could pull. See Queen of Pain trading daggers along with the Cold Snap, just basically harass each other. Although Invoker, I think he's going to come out. I think he's going to come out and invest just because the stun from Cold Snap is stronger. Plus, of course, he has a ton of regen thanks to the Quace. And he has actually gone for the Blades of Attack straight up with his Quace. And I kind of expect him to get a Wex as well. Just go Quace Wex. It's down the bottom lane. Ancient Apparition still with his counter wards. Hasn't needed to use them yet. There are no blocking wards down here. And meanwhile, Enigma seems to have run out of mana. He's got 1 clarity left. He's going to go and check out for the 2-minute run. It's a DD. Not going to be able to do a whole lot with that, though. Might just try and save it for Invoker, or will he take it? No, he just decides to grab it. Alright. Just going to grab
Invoker
it up.
Invoker doesn't really want to leave this mid lane. Does have the quad, so he can just keep on regenning himself up. Queen of Pain, I mean, doing alright here at the moment. The farm very even at mid lane. And this should be a pretty even matchup. Queen of Pain will go for the early bottle. Invoker will be going for the early phase boots. And it'll come down to whether or not Queen of Pain can get some successful ganks off as, as you said, Wex, Quad, Invoker. So we're not going to see any Sunstrikes help those side lanes. And once again, Sven coming in mid. And this isn't to gank. I think it's just to prevent the ESAA going for a smoke gank. Simply because with this smoke on ES, they maybe saw it, or maybe they're expecting it. He can come for ganks on this Invoker, and it's much easier to gank an Invoker than it is to gank a Queen of Pain.
Yeah, but I mean, he's still level 1, so like they're not going to be using. Like, I mean, he's not going to be semi-carrying at any point, just because he's going to be so far behind at this point. He spent the first 3 minutes. He's got all of 60 experience. Throws down a counter ward. down on the bottom run. Alright then. They're looking for the Radiant Ward, which there is none actually. I think they're all up top.
Yep, and at the moment, Winrunner is also level 1, has not got any XP. The lane is going to push out now, so Winrunner will manage to catch up on some XP here. But that's why Sven didn't have to stay top. Just backing up mid, sure he's not doing anything, sure he's level 1, but the only other option, I mean, he doesn't really want to share farm with the DK. DK who's free farming up to 20 creep kills. He could have been with this Crystal Maiden who's using the pull here. But right now, they're just getting the early levels on Crystal Maiden to help get that aura up. And Sven, regardless of what level his stun is, it's the same stun duration and also the same cooldown. So leveling up just adds some extra damage there. So maybe just happy to leave it Sven a bit under-leveled for the moment.
Yeah, we'll see what happens then. Crystal Maiden just going to be ducking in here, grabbing up some experience. She's gone straight for the nukes, which makes perfect sense. Now, what will she grab next? I'm kind of expecting the aura to come out here just because... No, she's not going aura. She's gone for 2 in Crystal Nova. So she's going to be getting active in this mid-game, I guess. And not even a little bit of mana regen for the spin there, although he hasn't had to burn... Actually, he hasn't had to burn any mana yet. He's been just fine as Enigma finds another rune. Now, there is a counter ward down here. I mean, I think there was probably a lane ward to protect Morphling, and it's probably been counter warded by that ward there.
Yeah, there was. They had a lane ward there, and quite importantly, ES has decided to swing top. Chuan is now hiding at top, just sitting in this jungle, positioning himself so that Windrunner can maybe get some farm against his tri lane. Even with the Fissure, though, it's going to be very hard for Windrunner. Maybe ES can save the Windrunner, but they're not going to be able to get any kills there. It'll just allow Windrunner to get in XP range, compete for a bit of farm, and then have the Fissure to back them up. But Crystal Maiden and Sven just constantly using this pull here. And, I mean, they're not even thinking about smoke gank. I mean, the Queen of Pain at mid is just so hard to gank because of that blink. The Sven stun, it's not an instant stun, so Queen of Pain can blink and dodge the stun a bit too easily.
So the cold feet does go down on the Enigma, however, no follow-up stun there, so it won't be proccing. And yeah, IG not enjoying this top lane. Earthshaker wasting a bit of time there, just basically wound up sitting up there for nothing. Just way too much creep pulling going on at the moment. Crystal Maiden and Sven really keeping a good handle on that, making sure Windrunner gets absolutely nothing out of this lane. Now, Queen of Pain has picked up a bottle. She's going down bottom, going to look for a rune, finds nothing. She's only got the top rune ward, which the Radiant Ward for top has just expired, so Ferrari hasn't had a particularly active early game. Now that we've got the phase boots up for Invoker. Now, he's doing a lot of damage, especially with that cold snap. Queen of Pain can't try and trade hits with him there. Not going to work. She also goes for the level 6 ultimate. Isn't going to hold off. We see sometimes sometimes Queen of Pain players, they will go, you know what, I'm actually going to just max out Scream first, maybe get 2 levels in Shadow Strike, and then get my ultimate at level 8. Just because it is very expensive.
Yeah, no, I agree. Right now, both teams playing a big cat and mouse. They are going to go on top. Sven's Sun goes down. The Windrunner's already been popped. Nice Fissure. Hits 3. And a TP coming in from Morphling. So Morphling all the way from bottom lane. Power shot on CM. There's the first blood. It goes to Zhou as DK picks up the kill on the Windrunner. YYF going down. A good trade there. I mean, Morphling had to come all the way top. But now AA, who's made his way bottom, has some farm there. As ES decides not to pop another Fissure. Morphling was not going to get that kill. Morphling making a replicate of the DK in ulti form. That's going to do a lot of damage because you get that poison orb effect still.
How nasty. I mean, the good thing, like, you got the first blood, which is nice, but at the same time, yeah, AA definitely does well with levels, as it looks like IG calling a pause here. Is that Sven roaming in behind the Queen of Pain? They could set something up. Ferrari is very low. He's got no regen at all. He's got absolutely no regen at all. This could be... Whoa, what?
I imagine they're all on land, so it's just, well, these guys are all at the same, like, boot camping house, so it's probably a similar problem for all of them, whether or not they're changing their internet line or, I don't know, restarting for something, but we'll wait and see.
Oh, right, okay. Chuan says he can't see his skill. One of our spectators also says they can't see the skill. I mean, I had issues as well, initially. Alright, apparently everybody having trouble then. Just,
as in can't see when he uses Fissure, I guess.
I don't know. Just check pings while we wait. Wow, Faith actually sitting on 300... Oh wait, they're still disconnected, I think.
Yeah.
No, Faith is here. Faith is the only one who didn't drop, actually, Ancient Apparition. He's sitting on 330 MS. Ferrari has DC... Is Ferrari out? No, Ferrari's here, and Ferrari is 600 for me.
Yeah, the IG players reconnecting. They're all around 300-ish for me. So this is eHome last night. I mean, some Singapore servers were good for them, others were bad. So this is kind of like, I mean, this is the kind of thing AL plays on where it's playable, it's perfectly fine, but it does take some getting used to. As mid lane, Queen of Pain actually going in. Queen of Pain's popped to south though, so Sven actually running right through the tower with a haste rune, looking for a revenge kill here. Invoker in trouble, does not have mana for a cold snap. Sven stun under tower. Perfectly timed. If he was there a second later, that Invoker would have gone down. Invoker did not have mana for that cold snap.
Oh wow, so damn close. In fact, just getting enough amount, just getting enough Colson. Now, Sven giving him a potion, a salve there, going to heal up, and yeah, he got really low. In fact, with the although managing to out heal the, it was only a level 1 Shadow Strike, so we managed to out heal that just with the Quace and a Tango eating that on the way back home. I was about to think easy about to get denied, but he manages to escape death there. Queen of Pain coming back to the mid lane. Oh, this could be a problem for Dan. Dan in some trouble, gets fissured, gets screamed. The ultimate just to finish things up. And you might say it looked like a bit of overkill, but he could have dropped the cold snap on her and maybe would have walked away from that. So in the end, probably worth doing. Yeah, Christamine, only level 3, still hasn't picked up any levels in the aura as of yet. So see, Enigma has rotated to jungle, said screw this bottom lane, I'm getting absolutely nothing. I can't push down because I've got no wards. I'm just going to go up to the jungle and catch up my farm. And this means Joe is going to get a lot of free farm now. What's he on? 32 and 19. It's doing pretty well.
Farming up a lot. And he got the first blood as well, which would give him a big gold boost. Enigma actually left the bottom lane around level 2. They did really well. Enigma usually can go up against a dual lane or tri lane pretty well because of that conversion pulling the way back. But IG using those creep pulls forced Enigma to stay under leveled. He only got to level 2 at bottom before he decided, let's leave. Let's go to the jungle where I can get some levels and farm. And leave Morphling just to continue free farming at bottom lane. And DK free farming at top lane. DK on 45 creep kills with the 1 kill. Morphling with just the 36, but Morphling, his kill was the first blood. So I'd say those two heroes pretty even in terms of farm. Morphling, the slightly better late game carry as well.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Morphling is going to stomp the DK late, I think, as far as just right-clicking the crap out of stuff goes. But then again, DK has got that mid-game timing where he is just really, really effective at pushing, and he's also just damn tanky and very difficult to deal with. And the question is, what build is Morphling go with? He's got the Perseverance, so kind of expecting to see an early Lincolns on him. I don't think we'd go with anything else. And yeah, it really depends how fast his farm goes. Whether or not he goes for just some traditional right-click damage, or if he goes for the shotgun build, the Mushi Morphling. And we'll see what he does, but... Now, Sven with a DD, it's about to wear off though, so probably not going to manage to make anything happen. Throw down a lane, we'll just watch out for any TP counter ganks once again up in this top lane. It was relatively active, and if they're going to move in, Sven actually speeded himself up with his boost. He's already up, wow, he's actually really caught up on levels, up to level 5 now. I think that Queen of Pain kill in mid definitely helped him out just a bit. He's actually managed to get ahead of Chrisman. Here comes the AA Ice Blast, just going to harass DK, probably not going to annoy him that much. A Fissure as well, and the Power Shot, DK not really caring all that much though.
Yeah, he's got Ring of Health and the Salve as well as a Magic Wand. He can't heal up with the AA Ice Blast there, but I mean, he hardly took any damage. He's just going to shrug that off. But bottom lane, Morphling and Ancient Apparition taking down the Tier 1 tower. SpaceMonkeys yet to get a tower of their own. We're going to see a bit more harass going down in mid. Queen of Pain shrugging it off once again. Invoker, Phase Boost, Bracer, trying to get up that Drum of Endurance. And DK maybe going for a quick Vanguard here with this Ring of Health, or could be going for the pipe.
And IG just content to continue pushing this down. They say, alright, well, if nobody's coming down here, we're just going to keep pushing. And of course, I mean, they've got the Morphling here. Morphling is a pretty slippery customer. Will be definitely difficult for them to pin down. Just going to nuke down that wave, although now he's going to be careful. He's got that on cooldown, but there is no trouble coming. They've got the wards down as well. In fact, SpaceMonkeys just going to try and trade this top down, and it's not happening right now. They're just not pushing hard enough. They're just, a lot of them are sitting in this jungle. They have smoked up, going to go look for a gank. But meanwhile, a free tier 2 tower for IG. I think this is really bad news for SpaceMonkeys. They've just allowed the gold to swing all the way back to the Radiant. That's a big issue, I think.
Yeah, they got nothing in return for that. I mean, if you're giving up towers, you need to be getting kills, map control, something in return. But right there, they were just, I mean, they smoked up now, but they've already lost those 2 towers. They were not trading it for anything. They could have been maybe engaged on top, but at the same time, if they engaged on top, Morphling could have TP'd in, and we saw last time what happened when they engaged on top. Morphling TP'd in, got the first blood, Queen of Pain, TP's into the smoke gank, Sven with the last hit. Enigma is there, does have that black hole up, has a soaring as well, so he can get enough mana for that if he needs, but right now, just the Queen of Pain kill, not really worth those 2 towers, and they need to get some towers of their own.
I think Ferrari probably just has the biggest WTF face on right now. It's just like, why are there 3 people hiding behind my tower while we push onto their racks? What the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
But anyway, the Fissure goes down on top, just going to chase DK off, and he's done a fair bit of damage to this town, but it's not enough to drop down. Oh, another gang coming from behind. Here's Sven drop a Stormbolt on top of Tron. The port's coming in. There's that Morphling sharp to help counter gank. They've also got the Ancient Apparition here. Morphling diving straight in. The Shackle goes through. Fantastic. Morphling giving line of sight. Fissure as well. Sven goes down. And this is looking pretty grim for SpaceMonkeys at the moment.
Yeah, it was not a kill they wanted to give up. This Morphling now up to 1,800 gold. I mean, DK has more CS, but definitely Morphling. I mean, with those 2 towers there, and his team with an overall gold lead as well, that means their support heroes can get up some items nice and quick. We see Ancient Apparition going for an urn. ES has the Arcane Boots up, and this is going to be much scarier than what the support heroes over on the Dire team had. Not to mention, I mean, Ancient Apparition and ulti is much stronger in the mid game than what the Sven and Crystal Maiden can offer. I mean, Sven hits level 5, but regardless of what level his stun is, it's that same 15-second cooldown. It's that same stun duration. He's not a hero that scales all that well unless you get up big carry items and start sort of right-clicking people down, but that's not going to happen when you're being played as a support hero.
Yeah, definitely questionable there. As it looks like Enigma's still trying to farm that jungle up. They still haven't taken a tower, which kind of bothers me. Let's have a look at the farm now. And yeah, I've brought it back just a little bit with that gank or so, but at the same time, they are definitely falling behind. Now, DK knows he's in a bit of trouble. I think he's pinging for help now, saying, I need backup here very quickly. Earthshaker picking up the arcane boots just then, going through the items. The Balafist goes down. Fisher blocking us. Sven, I don't think he can get in. Can he drop? Black Hole goes down. Shackle cancelling though. Ice Blast going to whiff and hit nothing. Cold Feet is on top of Enigma. Will he go down? Yes, he will. Gets cleaned up there by a power shot. Meanwhile, Earthshaker gets cleaned up by the DK. And Invoker, the Tornado goes through. Will he get anything? Gets all 4 heroes. Great Tornado. Unfortunately, no follow-up there. Stun on cooldown for Sven just coming up now. Definitely 15 seconds is a long time when it comes to early team fights. And Crystal Maiden in the mid lane not participating in that at all. And she's picked up 1 level in Arcane Aura at level 6, I believe.
Yeah, nice little pick off. Nice little pick off from IG there, and they just get out. I mean, AA heals himself up with an urn, and they've just got a much stronger mid game now. Even with a hero like Morphling, who needs to get those big items up going to the late game, there's just such great team fight here as AA finds himself the Invoker running right at him. Tornado going to get the kill. Dan getting a bit of a freebie there. Looks like AA was just trying to do a bit of warding on that plateau.
Yeah, getting caught out. Not a big loss though. Annoying, but not a big loss. Earthshaker though, trying to save up money. Earthshaker's now got a little bit of free farm in this bottom lane. He will just catch up. I assume go towards, just try and save up towards that Blink Dagger. Morphling now being engaged on, or just harassed rather. So I thought Dan might try and drop a Cold Snap or something, because Crystal Maiden was right behind him. Could have tried to set up something. They're definitely plausible. Sven also still skulking about. Has picked up his ult just for the sake of having his ult. Enigma still farming away. And yeah, IG still haven't considered a tower yet. As Morphling replicates the Invoker, I'm thinking he might just send it. No, he's going to use it to harass. I thought he might send it back just as sort of as a failsafe so he could replicate out if necessary. I think there's something going to... Oh, Enigma has been caught out. I think his path might have been spotted up. Like where he was going might have been spotted there. As the Stormbolt goes down, Queen of Pain, it is going to be disjointed. No, wait, what?
You can't dodge Sven stun.
My bad.
So like one of the stuns, you can't actually blink dodge it. But it still means you can still blink away. So I mean, if you're not going to dodge it, but it's something like if Sven goes to gank mid and Queen of Pain blinks away, the sun's still going to hit, but Invoker's not going to be anywhere nearby to do any follow-up damage. But yeah, it's one of the few stuns you can't dodge.
Stormbolt says no, you then. Invoker has finished up those drums. It looks like he might. No, decides not to. I thought Dan would be getting aggressive there just because he's in a relatively safe position. Again, oh, Crystal Maiden has been beaten up fairly badly by Chuan, although trading hits Chuan also fairly low. There's an Ice Blast coming through, not going to hit anything though. Was searching, finds nothing. And again, Crystal, I think this is smart from SpaceMonkeys. They saw the AA got there earlier, looked like he was trying to ward, got caught out, but they figured, hey, you know what, he might have dropped down to ward there, so they've thrown in the counter ward just to check. And look at Joe! Just lose health rapidly. That's why I kind of thought the Invoker would get stuck in. Goes for the kill. Now there's the EMP. He's going to clean up another hit there. Will take him out. And now Queen of Pain jumping him. She's got a DD. This is going to hurt as well. Has she got a roll up? No, it's 1 minute on the cooldown. Not going to be there for a while. And she will have to disengage here. The tower going to beat on top of the Joe. I'm sorry, Dan. Joe's the Morphling. Dan moving in to get another shot off. Doesn't have the mana though to do anything. DK gets a stun off. That's a nice Dragon Tail there. The Stormbolt following up. I think it was a little bit premature though. Queen of Pain will get away. They stacked the stuns. A little bit of a miscommunication there. A little bit of a miscommunication. I mean, it was only level 1 Tail Strike, but at the same time, what is it? Yeah, Dragon Tail, that's right. Yeah, but
it's still 2.5 seconds.
It's still a long stun. And just immediately dropped the Stormbolt on it. Had they just spaced that out a little better, would have been a kill, or even just, waited, just because, like we saw before, Queen of Pain can't disjoin it. Just apparently Sven's stun is just way too manly. It has a beard attached or something, and will follow you to hell itself. Now, wait, whoa, where have we gone? Okay, here we go. Ancient Apparition in mid. It looks like he's going to move up. He's got the illusions there. He's just going to do a little bit of scouting, just going to annoy people under the tower. Meanwhile, though, Enigma up on the high ground. What's that there? He's picked up a Macasm recipe. He still needs a buckle, though. That's not done. Chuan is here. Chuan's sitting on... Chuan has actually burned some gold. He had money, but he's burned it on something.
I don't know if he had much money. It doesn't look like he had. He bought the Arcane Boots, maybe just bought some Observer Wards for what teammate. As there we go, Sven stun in. They're going on Queen of Pain. There's the Cold Snap. They get the lockdown. Tornado going to get the win run in the air. This is not a good trade for IG. They're going to lose 2 by the looks of things. Sven ulti. Invoker getting a double kill there. Meanwhile, though, Morphling is free farming at bottom lane. He's almost got his Lincoln Sphere. So IG, bad team fight, but they are going to get a great AA ultimate. CM will go down, in fact. Nice little Fissure AA combo there.
Yeah, that could not have been any better there. Now, it looks like SpaceMonkeys will get a tower, or second tower. They have taken the top one, but I don't think this is a big deal. Just because, well, IG, they've already taken 2 towers, and of course, Morphling just farming away. I mean, he's got the Lincolns almost up, and then once he gets that next item, he's pretty much set. I mean, if he gets the early Ethereal Blade for shotgun, then, I mean, it's then going to really start spiraling out of control. He's going to be able to just pick off the Enigma, pick off the Crewsmate, whoever he really damn well feels like it. And, I mean, DK, not that far. I mean, he's almost got the pipe done, but it's not going to be... I think Morphling with a lot of physical damage, or even I suppose the shotgun is going to be a fair amount of magical, but he's not going to be aiming the DK initially anyway. He's just going to try and clean up those supports, so, you know, insta-give the Invoker, and then his teammates are just going to 5v1 the DK. That's it. Dan gets to deny there. So I hear you might be possibly doing a bit of... Oh.
Finding out where Neolution are, in fact. But
Yeah.
right now, Morphling, he's finished his Lincoln Sphere. He's up to 92 creeps in just 18 minutes. And that is going to be something that, I don't know whether or not this DK Invoker can deal with. I mean, the Invoker, the Wex, the EMP is a great counter to the Morphling. If they can land that, maybe they can focus him down, because right now he's only sitting on 500 mana. The Wex, when it's maxed out, still, I think it's 400 mana that you lose. So we're going to need a couple Arcane Boots on this Radiant team. They've got one on ES. Maybe even the Ancient Apparition will pick up a second one.
Yeah, that wouldn't be terrible. I mean, he's already got the Urn, which is like definitely an early helpful item. And yeah, 2 to 3 Arcane Boots will pretty much solve Morphling's problems. As long as he doesn't get locked down. If he gets a spell off or 2, if he goes in with Replicate already popped, then drops his waveform to get in, then, I mean, he can get the mana he needs to replicate out or whatever, or even just drop the shotgun. Because, I mean, the thing is, with his shotgun build, is he almost just sort of flies in there, goes screaming in, takes somebody out, and then replicates straight back out to the back lines. So I think it should be manageable.
I know a lot of these Chinese teams, they don't like going for that shotgun build. They like going for the safer, more sort of late game oriented build, where they might even just go Lincoln Feet into a Skadi or a Mantis Cell. They just go for that next item. Skadi would be great against Invoker because you get a much bigger mana pool, so the EMP won't actually hurt him that much. So we may even go for a Skadi. It's Queen of Pain surrounded the smoke gang. He believe he actually blinks away there, as they are going to find the Invoker at mid. Invoker going to get taken out. The Tornado EMP will land. Gets Windrunner down. Windrunner, has a magic wand, so can use that Windrunner in a second. It looks like YYF will escape. They're not going to get any kills in return. That Queen of Pain, surrounded by like 3 enemy smoked heroes, somehow run in the right direction to avoid them.
Yeah, Ferrari getting away with that. And yeah, I mean, the EMP, it's damn annoying, but they can deal with it. A couple of Arcane Boots, Magic Wands, they'll be fine, I think. They'll be able to get away with that without having to have serious issues. Earthshaker also just trying to farm up. Now, he's got another 600. I saw he had like 600, 700 gold before, and it disappeared. I guess you're right, he must have just done a little bit of warding for his team. Is that Joe just clashing there with the Dragonite? Dragonite has actually grabbed the second level. Oh, this is interesting from SpaceMonkeys. Don't normally, like, the only time I see this is when like there's a massive ancient stack, so basically some reason for him to be using the cleave damage, because level 1 dragon doesn't have the cleave. So this is definitely a little bit interesting from SpaceMonkeys, the fact that they've gone for the red dragon without actually having huge stacks of stuff for DK to try and accelerate his farm off.
Yeah, generally you want to just keep it level 1 for the pushing power, and considering SpaceMonkeys, they've only taken down 1 tower so far. The mid tower's nice and low, but they want to maybe get some towers here. I'm surprised they aren't leveling it up to level 2, where all you get is the splash damage. They've got that pipe on DK though, so with the pipe, the mech up, they can look to do some pushes. And I mean, the main benefit for the ulti is going to always just be the ranged attack. So he's still going to have the ranged attack regardless of level 1 or level 2, but he won't get that additional poison damage. But it looks like they should be able to get this T1 mid tower unless IG can combo a Fissure. Oh, they're going to go into this. There's a pipe being popped though. And the Fissure, the AA ultimate with a power shot, not going to do much damage at all because of that DK popping that pipe at just the right time.
Yeah, just before that, when AM might just want to go and clean up, just go and farm for a little bit, just to get that level 2 ult, because it is definitely way more effective than level 1. If you can go and grab that, we'll find out though. Joe currently free farming away some more, and the question is, what will he go for? We'll see whether or not he saves up. And yeah, he's just going to take every single creep. Although, well, I thought SpaceMonkeys might be planning to do Rosh, they were pinging it, but changed their mind.
Yeah, they don't want to get caught out there, that's for sure. I mean, Morphling, who is continuing to farm up, Morphling actually reaching 133 creep kills now, and that is definitely a concern for this Dire team. I feel like for them, it's a bit of a ticking time bomb. They need to maybe push and make something happen soon. They've got the neck and pipe up. Maybe want to get that drum of actually, no, they've got the drum on the Invoker, who also has a 4-star. So maybe their time is going to have to come soon, where they look to push, where they look to use their sort of utility items, their survivability, just to outlast their opponents. Because ES, Windrunner, AA, even the Queen of Pain, for the next 5-10 minutes, they're not going to be doing that much damage against this pipe and mech that's on the Dire team.
Yeah, they've definitely got a window of opportunity to make something happen, but they're not just, I mean, they're just not taking it. They're just sort of sitting around doing a bit of counter warding. Maybe they might go for, I mean, they go for the Rosh. They've got the counter ward done. They've got no vision there now, although I suppose they could just scatter up with the A if they feel something sus. And again, IG just pushing away, making sure they stay active, even though they're not really trying to force clashes with enemy heroes. They're just trying to get the odd gank off, but they're mainly focused on pushing and just getting that free farm on Morphling. They feel comfortable. Morphling down here by himself now does pop the Replicator, the Dragon Knight. Maybe a little bit too early, but we'll see. He gets that illusion down. He's just going to try and keep... Oh, no, I think this is smart, actually. He's just keeping the creep off the tower. That is actually very, very smart. Decides to port out to mid, though. Just going to push that lane of free farm. In fact, they're quite happy to trade this tier 1 tower for their tier 2. The rest of IG just busy beating down this tower. And Morphling, again, just free farming, just taking this mid. I really feel like SpaceMonkeys are falling behind here. Like, they're just not coordinating all that. Well, they had a point where they were bringing it back. I think they got a couple of towers there. They were bringing it back, but again, just falling behind.
They're definitely, I feel like they are falling a bit further and further behind, but with their lineup, I mean, regardless of the gold difference, they have got the advantage for the next 5 minutes in any clash. But it's going to come down to whether or not IG can just outlast their opponents and use this gold lead to take them to the late game. Morphling picks up a Blade of Alacrity, so he's going to be going for a Yasha, presumably into Manstyle. He waves in at bottom. This is not a good thing. His EMP, there's a stun. The Lincolns get broken. Zhao is going to go down at bottom lane. AA ultimate coming in. DK has a pipe though, which he probably wants to pop now. And there we go. They're going to fight this as DK popping the ulti, goes on Windrunner with the stun, and Windrunner goes down as well. ES ulti doesn't do much damage at all, and you can see SpaceMonkeys, they've hardly taken any damage this entire fight. In goes DK stun. Queen of Pain going to go down. Oh no, Queen of Pain blinks out with the magic wand, just kept alive. As now SpaceMonkeys starting to get low, but they're going to have, they're going to be able to get out here. Enigma is at top though, so they don't have that mech. That was like a 4v5 fight, which they won simply because of that DK pipe. Yeah,
the DK pipe, and also the fact that obviously they were porting in. IG were porting in to defend, and of course there is the trickle effect, the lemming effect. You do port in one after the other. It is, I think what, an extra 2-3 seconds per port that stacks on top of the tower, so it does really slow down their ability to get in there effectively. Sven finds himself a DD. They're just going to try and get someone else to tank that while he takes it. Now the question is, did they see them? It's going to bring up the Radiant line of sight. They probably don't know for sure that they're in there. They might just drop an Ice Blast in there in a second. Yeah, I know that's pink pinging, and it's a dire pinging, so looks like IG don't know this is happening. I mean, they've got the firepower up to stop it, so yeah, they definitely don't know what's going on here.
Ooh, if AA hits him with an ultimate, that's going to do a lot. The Sven and the Invoker are both so low, and they've got the ward up now, the Dire team, but they didn't see them going in. Oh, AA ultimate, going to scout, it may scout them out, but it's not going to hit. If that had hit, it could have almost been a double kill.
That was not a well-placed, I mean, that could have definitely been a double kill there, and it's just not a particularly well-placed ult. Just, I don't know if he misclicked or if he was actually trying to send it top to scout. It wasn't actually aiming at the Rosh pit, then it flew over and said, holy crap, hang on, there is actually somebody in there. Now, who have they given it to? DK taking up... Yeah, I guess that's exactly what it would be expected. Invoker now trying to build his Argnems. He has got that 4-star, so he's relatively survivable. He's relatively maneuverable, and he's going to be difficult to pin down in the middle of a fight, so that's looking good for him. But at the same time, IG just getting away there, just pulling away. And the fact is, Morphling has not been has only had one interruption where he was really his mistake there, diving in on top of them, which really screwed him up there.
And Enigma, I thought was going for a BKB, but I like he's now transitioned into that Blink Dagger. So this Blink Dagger will help them get those initiations they need to find heroes. I mean, it's not going to be Enigma's not going to be the one who can go in first, simply because there's so many disables coming from the ES Fissure, the Windrunner Shackles, the Morphling Adaptive Strike. But if he times it well, so he comes in halfway through or towards the end of a team fight, after they've already killed 1 or 2, which is perfectly reasonable, considering they've got the pipe, the mech, they can kill 1 or 2 heroes, maybe lose 1 hero themselves. If he comes in with a last-minute or mid-fight Black Hole, that can be a big game decider. So that Blink Dagger is going to be a very useful pickup for him.
Winrunner was hiding up on the top edge of the map for like the last minute or so, and it's popped back out just a power shot creep when Morphling arrives, and she's going to back. I think she was possibly being threatened by a gank, just got a little bit scared and sat up there for a little while. And the smoke up from the Dire side, will they try and make something happen? They've thrown in a counter ward, have spotted an enemy ward up there and realised, okay, so they know that we're here now, possibly, as that ward has just popped up. They're saying, no, let's go through and try and make a gank. I assume that's what Crystal Maiden is saying there. Anyway, I said, uh-oh, that's just illusion. They're going to get nothing out of that. Winrunner trolling them with that illusion. And it looks like she's working on a Force Staff right now. She's got that Staff of Wizardry up and running. Morphling, he's got something incoming. What is that? No, that's for Winrunner actually. She's got a Force Staff done and dusted. Meanwhile though, SpaceMonkeys going to push this mid lane. I think the question is, can they get, like, they should be able to get this tower down nice and quick. They've got Sven with God Strength. They can do a ton of damage to that tower. And Morphling...
They have to get back top though. That's the problem. They're going to have to get back, stop this Morphling and Winrunner, who are going to get some damage done on the T3 tower. They'll chip away at it. Oh yeah. IG just great counter pushing, and they're going to force TPs back at both bottom and top. As their AA ultimate goes in at mid, that's going to prevent them from even getting this T2 tower. And they're going to TP, and they're not going to even get any kills from their efforts when they TP back.
Yeah, and of course, IG just managing to stack a little bit of damage on each tower. And as long as they keep doing this, as long as they keep chipping away, they've just fine as there's some engagement in mid. Earthshaker in control. Malefice goes down as well. Enigma has actually picked up a blink. And they get the kill there on, I think it's Chuan there, yeah, it's Earthshaker Chuan. And yeah, they get the kill on him as, Force Staff there from Winrunner. She's going to go for the kill on Enigma, gets a shackle off, latches to a tree. Can they stack on the damage there? Queen of Pain is here. I think they should get this. She's got a roll top if she wants to use it, but she doesn't need it.
Yeah, not going to matter. Invoker with an Ogre Axe. So either going for the Aghanim Scepter now, or could even be going for a BKB against some of these, I mean, against most of these Raiden heroes. BKB is going to be a great pickup, so... The problem is right now, there we go, you can see SpaceMonkeys drawing on the map. They're drawing on lines, push out those side lanes. They have the stronger team fight. They have the better items at the moment. I mean, the gold graph shows that they're behind by 3k gold, but you definitely feel IG cannot really fight SpaceMonkeys, but they're managing to get further and further ahead by just counter pushing. They're saying, okay, we're not going to fight you guys. If you guys go mid, we'll go both top and bottom and force TPs back to both those lanes. And you can see, SpaceMonkeys didn't even get that tier 2 mid tower.
Yeah, this is going to be a big issue. It's the fact that there's wasting time. Well, not so much wasting time, it's just basically IG are managing to stall them. And the longer they stall this game, the later they push it, just the better and better Morphling is going to look against this DK. And like you see here, he's gone for the defensive build. He's got that pipe up and range. He doesn't really have a whole lot of damage, although he's got something coming actually. It's a bit of a clash up top. BKB. He's got the BKB as well. Uh-oh, what's that? Another Mithril Hammer. Although that might actually be Invokers. He might be going for that BKB that you talked about earlier.
Yeah. I think it's going to be Invokers or Enigmas. Enigma as well going for a BKB. I think it's actually going to be the Enigmas. But, I mean, SpaceMonkeys are getting up some really great items, which is going to give them a super strong team fight, especially with those BKBs. But, I mean, they haven't had any team fights at all in a long time. So, I mean, they're going for these team fight items, but they need to just deal with this counter push more than anything. Getting these items to give them a stronger team fight isn't going to help if they're not actually having team fights. Yeah,
definitely. Morphling now has 2,500 gold saved up, ready to go. Enigma just sitting up here. And did Invoker get that? No, okay, I think that, yeah, I agree, that might actually be Enigma's thing, he's got that club as well. And Invoker, I really am honestly, I'm kind of expecting Invoker to go for the Aghanim Scepter. I think Enigma, was that the BKB? No, that was DK with the BKB, yep, DK with the BKB. He's going to be annoying in these fights to try and pin down, but at the same time, I think IG are just going to focus on killing all of his friends, all of his support heroes, and then focus him down like 3v1 or 5v1, as many heroes as they have basically. Power shot just going to harass him there. Ice Blast not really landing on anything.
Yeah, that was a bit preemptive almost. Invoker, I think it looks like he has bought a BKB here, so just going for the pure survivability rather than getting lots of spells up. As yeah, there we go, he's got his BKB now. So with BKB on 2 heroes, the problem is IG, once again, Morphling is in at top. Bottom lane, you've got Queen of Pain and ES, and I think SpaceMonkeys, they want this Rax out, and they have to make sure they get this. AA ulti is on cooldown. They're going to look to take a Rax, then TP back, and stop the push coming at both bottom and top. And I think SpaceMonkeys, ooh, the glyph has been popped. There goes the Sven ulti. They're going to force some TPs back, but Morphling just wants to keep on counter pushing.
Yeah, well, SpaceMonkeys, there you go. Screw it. Pop those ults. Base race time. They might actually get this Rax if IG don't defend here. The Bijou goes down. IG needs to engage. Cold Feet. Mech gets popped up by the die, so Ice Blast going to go through. Not going to land on anything. Only clipping them. Nobody's down as of yet. BKB being popped by the Invoker. It was indeed a BKB. As now there's a level 3 ultimate from Dragonite. They're going to get the Rax. They managed to pick off the Rax, and only a tower went down. But SpaceMonkeys only lost a tower. They immediately, SpaceMonkeys going to back up. Bijou going to come down, pin down that DK. He's still got the Aegis and a BKB that is off cooldown. He didn't actually pop it during that fight. So if he needs it, he can pop it. In fact, he turns around, goes for the stun on Windrunner. They're going to try and pick her up. Here comes a power. No Stormbolt coming through. Tornado goes through there, and now Morphling dives on top of Enigma. Power shot. No, that's not a power shot. It is a fissure. Going to stop him there as Cold Feet procs on top of the Crystal Man. She gets cleaned up, and Enigma just going to blink out of there. Meanwhile, DK, he balls deep in the enemy lines. Echo Slam gets popped. It's only a level 1 Echo Slam. Had pretty much no creep to bounce up as well. DK does not even care. Sven very low. Sven's going to go down. Ice Blast hits DK. Will he get pinned down by Cold Feet? Looks like he'll get away. No, he gets taken out by the Cold Snap. Here he goes. Going to res up in a second though, but he's not going to have his ultimate form, and it's going to be very difficult for him to get away. He's going to get pinned down. Black Hole from Enigma though, catching 2 heroes. No, it's only caught 1. I lied. Hasn't quite got Faith there. Faith going to escape. And DK going to go down once again at Morphling. And the stun. Oh no, Enigma as well. He came back just to die. Unfortunately, that Black Hole barely missing Queen of Pain, barely missing the Enigma. But in the end, SpaceMonkeys coming out on top. They got the mid-racks, didn't lose their top racks.
I don't know if you can say... I wouldn't go so far to say they came out on top. It was at a very big cost there. I mean, they got a Rax, but they lost a T2 tower at top. I mean, and they didn't lose a Rax, but they also lost 4 or 5 heroes at mid, including an Aegis. They killed Winner, they forced the buyback from Winner, but now IG, their Morph just got so much gold from that. Morph getting a tower, as well as a couple kills. They did hold. I mean, at 32 minutes in, losing a Rax is somewhat significant, but IG really got something good in return. It's not like they just lost a Rax, and it's not like SpaceMonkeys just took a Rax. IG made them pay for it in terms of kills as well as a tower at top, so I feel IG made the best of that situation there.
This is true.
I mean, SpaceMonkeys still in a strong position, but they did not take that Rax as easily as they would have liked.
It definitely would have been better had they just stuck to the original game plan, which was back the hell out, whereas DK said, actually, I'm going to try and kill Windrunner. And maybe if they'd picked up, say, the Morphling instead, if it had been something like high value like the Morphling, but the Windrunner, Suicide Solo here, not as big a deal. It was nice that they got it, but not at the cost of throwing away the DK, the Aegis, and then on top of it, I mean, Enigma came back and all he did was die as well, so... Especially, I suppose you are right, losing that Aegis was a big deal. Had they just gone, no, screw it, get the hell out, it would have been a lot better for them. As Sven just stacking these braces now, trying to stay, or just trying to bulk up a little bit. He's got 1,300 gold though, still just about to hit level 11, get the second level. Earthshaker finally getting his level 2 Echo Slam. And the thing is, like, he's popped up a couple of Echoes this match, but he's basically only been hitting like 1 target with it. So it hasn't been a big deal.
And, I mean, the Dire team just have a lot of tanky heroes. I mean, most of their heroes are just naturally tanky. I mean, Invoker, 1,700 HP. Enigma, not that tanky, but will have a BKB soon. They've got the Pipe, the Mech, and Sven, I mean, 1,600 HP on him. These heroes aren't really that susceptible to an ES ulti apart from the Crystal Maiden. And we're going to see just what SpaceMonkeys want to do next. It looks like they want to just push out these side lanes and then go for maybe another Rax at either top or bottom. Because bottom lane's going to sort of push out by itself. They've also got tower there. They're going to go on this Morphling at top. Morphling has no mana. Morphling in so much trouble. Will have a buyback though. And we're going to see Sven and Enigma pick up that kill. Nice little gank there from SpaceMonkeys. That's what I feel like they should be doing earlier on, when they were just trying to push mid, but meanwhile, Morphling, Queen of Pain were just counter pushing. They had to look for those ganks on Morphling, because he's been playing very aggressive with his pushing, and we see there, getting picked off.
Yeah, and that's what you were talking about with that mana drain. Like, he got the replicate off, but then had no mana to replicate to the target, so... Really sucking from there, getting cleaned up quite easily by the mass stuns. DK just chopping away at this mid. Looks like he's going for an assault. And this is a very... I mean, lately we've seen like Shadow Blade DKs, Armlet DKs, just a lot of DPS-based DKs, but this is going back a while. Now we've got the whole just a tank up DK, just get as fat as he can. He's got the BKB, he's getting the cruise. There is the Echo Slam, that is much bigger. Dan diving and getting Danger Dan, getting obliterated there, going way too deep by himself. And cleaned up by 4 heroes there. Is that Queen of Pain? Oh, she's popped an inv. It's going to give chase to Sven. Sven needs to get out of there. Enigma, oh, they haven't seen the invis. They think they're safe. They haven't realised that they've been scattered out, and there's some trouble coming. Windrunner...
AALT is on the way as well. We're going to see an AALT is going to miss though. If that had hit, Queen of Pain would have maybe looked for a kill. Now Enigma, no. Enigma immediately blinking away. So Queen of Pain not going to find any kills here by the looks of it.
Enigma going, wait a minute. Better get out of here. Oh, DK. I mean, yeah, he's getting the Assault Courier. He's got the BKB, got the pipe. And he didn't get the... Like, something we used to see on him quite commonly was also a fast Vanguard, because that was way before Vanguards actually got nerfed. Lost all of its extra bonus health and other good things like that. So, I mean, this is fine. I think this is fine. I don't know. The only thing is he's going to lack that damage in the team fights. And like Morphling, like you said, that last fight got really, really fat. He's on 2,600 gold. Looks like he might be going... I think he might be going for a Butterfly. Or that or a Scuddy. I mean, if he's going for a Scuddy, I expected he would have picked up the Ultimate Orbs by now. So I'm guessing Butterfly. Yeah,
and he may just want to save for buyback at this point, because if he does get picked off, like we saw at top, and then SpaceMonkeys go to a push, he needs to be there, needs to buy back, and also wants to be constantly alive so he can counter push these lanes. And here we go. SpaceMonkeys at top looking for a kill. Queen of Pain was doing some counter pushing here, but this Queen of Pain hiding in the jungles, and SpaceMonkeys are so unlikely to find her up there. And as soon as they leave, if they go mid, if they go to another lane, Queen of Pain will just sort of, go back to counter pushing this lane. As meanwhile, Morphling bottom lane doing some split pushing there, as we will. I mean, it's safe for Morphling because the Radiant team know exactly where SpaceMonkeys are, pushing away at this top lane. They've seen at least 2 or 3 heroes, and they know just the CM, the Enigma, can't really kill that Morphling.
As Fiscon says, it's funny, Toby is streaming this as well. No, he's not. There are 2 Gigabyte Dota Masters tournaments happening. One being run by Join Dota, and this one here, they are completely separate tournaments. The one that is being streamed right now on Owned by Join Dota, that has nothing to do with this tournament. So just throwing that out there, even though they have very similar names, it is just coincidence. Just coincidence that both tournaments were called we're being called Masters tournaments, and then Gigabyte sponsored both of them. So, yeah. Awkward, but yeah. Just throwing it out there before anybody gets seriously confused. They have no relation to Stan. He says it looks like Chuang going to get picked up, and they lost a gem. Oh, DK now grabbing himself a gem. That is going to give them tons of map control, but at the same time, Morphling just beating down the tower. Joe, whatever, however you pronounce it, is just busy chopping away at this tower. He gets hit by a Sunstrike, and immediately just going to jump into the trees and then teleport out before he gets ganked. Not a moment too soon. Span right up behind him there. And he will escape.
And the problem is now, SpaceMonkeys, I mean, they feel momentum going their way, but they don't know how to push. They want to push. They want to just go 5 mid or 5 top, 5 bottom, and force a team fight, and then just, come out on top and then get a rack. But the problem is, IG aren't letting them. Whenever they go to push, IG are suddenly in the other lanes, pushing them out. Maybe we're going to have to see SpaceMonkeys get some boots of travel, get something so that they can push back those lanes and then TP to the lane that they want to push, as IG are just being so goddamn annoying with this action all around the map. IG still up by 5k gold, but they are down a racks. And Roshan as well is back up. We'll see if that comes into play soon. But, definitely you feel SpaceMonkeys can't go for Roshan until they push out their lanes and actually have a bit more of an advantage going their way.
As MacPantech calls out the chat that actually Morphling lost, IG lost to a Morphling. Their previous game was against a Morphling. They managed to lose it to a Lincoln Manta Heart Butterfly build. And I guess it's possible. Of course, Morphling's one of those heroes who can just go, you know what, just take all of that strength and turn it into damage. So he could really, he could use a heart. It would work at a pinch.
I think he doesn't need the heart because he's already got the regen from the Lincolns. And it's one of those things where if he wants HP, all he has to do is morph agility to strength. So getting the HP from heart isn't all that necessary. He's better off going for a damage item. Even the Butterfly, which gives him the evasion as well as the attack speed. It's just one of those things where if he needs HP in a second, he can just morph so quickly all those stats. As he is jungling away here, he may actually get a bit caught out here. Sven is going to spot him. He should be okay. There aren't enough heroes here. No, in comes the DK though. He has got that Lincoln. It looks like they're just going to sort of high-five and then go their separate ways, though. Yeah,
just run past. DK knows, well, nobody here's a follow-up on the stun. You've got a Lincoln. It's no real point wasting my mana. Because he doesn't have that early Soul Ring or something to help him out. Although he does have Crystal Maiden's Aura. She's kept it at level 2 for now. Did max out her nukes early on, which, it's useful. It's useful, although they didn't really get that active, though. And again, Queen of Pain, Ferrari just threatening this top lane, being a pain in the ass. This Rax is, the Rax is vulnerable. As Queen of Pain not going to be able to hold this Morph. In fact, SpaceMonkeys need to start teleporting back. They don't have a glyph either. They could sneak in this Rax, although there's a DK, pops a stun. Actually, that was Crystal Main actually knocking that off. The stun from Sven doing a lot of damage. He's just going to wait for it. No, he gets hit by the Malphus. Waveform's out. Malphus second proc, third proc, no, gets knocked off by the Manta. And he will escape here. No, he won't. He gets hit by the Black Hole. Lincoln's is not up for 5 seconds. He's in a lot of trouble. Stun once again. Ice Blast coming through. Not enough to kill the Sven, though. He should be able to... Actually, no. That might be enough. He's falling very low. One more tick. He will get away, just barely.
Yeah, I think it's around 10 or 11%, so we'd have to lose a bit more HP. But yeah, that was, oh, I mean, Morphling just getting caught out there. The Black Hole, I'm actually surprised the Enigma didn't use Black Hole right away. I mean, Enigma just popped the stun. They weren't going to kill the Morphling without that Black Hole. So, I mean, he waited for the Morphling to wave out, and Enigma blinked after with the Black Hole. I thought it'd just be a straight-up Black Hole at the racks there. But Enigma sort of taking his time, being a bit cautious, thinking, oh, I might get disabled, I might not need this Black Hole. But in the end, Morphling did go down, did take the Black Hole, and I mean, SpaceMonkeys need to use this opportunity to push out their lanes and then take Roshan, or if they don't take Roshan, look to push a lane, get another Rax. And right now, with ES at bottom, he's keeping home. The only concern is going to be this Queen of Pain, who is still at top, trying to counter push, get this top Rax.
Yeah, well, they're definitely to be wary, just because the melee Rax, well, it's going to heal, but not that quickly, so Queen of Pain could cause some damage. And I mean, they might even, when Morphling might even buy back in a moment, just because if they do threaten, if they do try and push and threaten the lane, he might want to buy back. I mean, he could just, you know, sneak a replicate up there, a replicate illusion up there, and just try and sneak in a kill on the Raxes. I mean, they got pretty close to killing that. Between the Queen of Pain and the Morphling then, if they take a second run at it when it's already damaged, they probably will get it. If SpaceMonkeys don't rally quickly enough. And I mean, they can't really. They don't have anybody who can go toe-to-toe with Morphling by themselves, let alone with Queen of Pain backing them up. They need to get him in mass, and the trouble is, that takes time. They have to sort of trickle in, porting in bit by bit, or porting in all over the base, and it just takes time to muster. So Morphling will have an opportunity just to knock down that Rax. He got very, very close. Someone's asking, is Invoker dying in mid lane? No, Invoker, he's all the way over here. He's nowhere near mid. That's an illusion here. That's a DK illusion. I think that's an illusion. Where's the real... Yeah, DK's up top, so that is an illusion. So who did we lose? We lost somebody here who's disconnected. We've lost YYF, the Windrunner.
Yeah, the Windrunner. And I mean, as it stands, I mean, right now, I mean, SpaceMonkeys, I mean, this DK, he's got a lot of farm. He's going to have that Assault Crest up fairly soon. I think he needs just... Oh, has he got any pieces? No, he hasn't got any pieces, so he's going to need another sort of 1k gold, I want to say, if my math is correct. And he will have that Assault Crest up, and with that, that's when their push and teamfight's going to get even scarier. That's the thing. I mean, IG, they're ahead on the gold graph. They're ahead by 5k, over a bit over 5k gold. That's because of all this split pushing, because of all their towers, and they're just out-farming their opponents. But when it comes down to it, their hero composition is not that strong, especially against the tanky heroes we see over on SpaceMonkeys with the Pipe and the Mech. And we'll see just whether or not this sort of nuke-heavy lineup on the Radiant team can actually deal with them. I mean, they've got some disables as well. It's not just all about the nukes. The ES has all those disables. You've got the Shackle Shot, and I mean, Queen of Pain not going for a Sheepstick here, going for Lincolns and Acceptor. I don't know. What do you, is that not going to actually be all that effective against this Dire team who just has so much survivability? I
think it'll be fine. Basically, they just want to buy time for Morphling to do his thing. I mean, they've got a lot of disablers. If they can just take something out of the mix, just, you know, keep some of the stuns of Morphling for a little while, then I think it'll do fine. Just because Queen of Pain's going to look to it like she can pretty much obliterate the Crystal Maiden. So they can just, you know, try and pick off a few heroes here and there and just keep somebody pinned down and just take away some of the stuns. Because, of course, Morphling is not exactly easy to kill. He's got that Lincoln's up, but he's going to protect him from something like we saw earlier, like where Dragon Knight, you know, gave him a high five. It's just they need a multiple amount of heroes to try and kill him. And you saw up there they needed a ton of heroes just to try and even pin him down. It was a late black hole indeed. They could have opened up with that a lot earlier, but at the same time, there's no real guarantee, especially... yeah, I suppose she might, if she can just blink in and even just hex the Enigma, I think that'll be fine as well, just because they don't have the Superior Magic stun to knock him out, and he is building a BKB. So I think it's fine. I do think it's fine. But the question is how far she's going to get it up, because, I mean, she might even want to save for buybacks as well for now, so it could take her a little while. And I mean, by then, they might have even ended the game. They're looking like things... It's getting to the point where in the next 5 to 8 minutes or so, a single mistake from one team could end this.
Yeah, at this point in the game it really is, and both teams are going to probably be saving up for buybacks. Even right now, DK getting close to the Assault Crest is going to be cautious about buying that until he knows that they'll have a good chance to push and not get picked off, and he's not going to have to use that buyback, maybe even try to get the Aegis up. Right now, I mean, as well, the other hero that's doing really well is this Invoker, who is level 19, has got that Aghanim Scepter, so if this Invoker can get some great sort of hero micro, use as many spells as possible. That could be something that really causes... It already has been causing a lot of problems for IG in any team fight, and even in those games. I mean, just using the cold snap, tornadoes, deafening blast, all those nukes and disables is so useful, as DK is going to look to go in, He's going to start by himself just on Roshan here. He is still in ulti form for another 10-15 seconds, but it looks like Windrunner power shot in says, hey, I know what you're doing there. We're not having any of that, as Queen of Pain still at top, looking to counter push. Queen of Pain, though, a bit low on mana.
Yeah, well, they pinged it earlier. They said, you know, I think Sven saying, like, drawing lines around Rush, saying, let's go and try and take it. And here we go. Enigma's staying up on the top line, making sure he's hitting defend. Queen of Pain might... No, she's not got an ult up. Still 20 seconds cooldown. She's been nuking creep, I think. As I see Pink Dragon Knight just farming away in this jungle. And yeah, I definitely want to keep people close on hand, just because at the moment this Rax is so vulnerable. This Rax is so vulnerable, and the creep are just constantly pushing up against it. It's really limiting their options on pushing up. I mean, they could, if they get one good fight though, they could just try and throne it. Is possible, especially with the mid open wide, to just try and do that. But we'll see. We'll see. And DK just going to force... I mean, they might even just go, you know what, let's try and defend this top Rax by pushing this top lane. That's also a possibility. And again, IG just seem to have this habit of just skulking along this top line of trees. Like this, I've seen Queen of Pain hiding up here, I've seen Windrunner hiding up here, and now Chuan doing the same thing. I think he feels like he's been caught out slightly. They might be trying to kill him. Or maybe he's just waiting to help push the wave back. Just trying to keep this pressure on this top lane as much as possible.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fine if SpaceMonkeys actually go, alright, let's push this top lane. That way we know they can't just push, they can't get the racks up the top lane that way. They can't get it behind us.
Yeah, no, I agree. They want to push that mid lane, and they're keeping mid lane pushed out as well. So right now, IG saying, okay, we can't go top or mid, we're going to go bottom. IG, wherever SpaceMonkeys go, they'll always go whichever lane is not being defended pushed out. They're going to force Invoker to swing bottom. Maybe Invoker, who I feel at this point maybe has to buy some boots of travel to defend lanes, and then just TP in. Because right now there's 4 top, Invoker is alone defending bottom lane. Maybe even those top 4 heroes are going to look for a bit of a... Actually, they're going to look for a Queen of Pain. Queen of Pain completely caught out, does have that Lincoln Sphere. DK not going to get anything as Morphling, meanwhile, gets tier 3 bottom tower. So IG finding another tower as that TP's back. Enigma is now ready to defend bottom if needed.
Yeah, and this is smart from IG, just the way that it plays. And again, the ES is still up here. Chua just skulking. Just skulking. They're ready to push this wave back in a moment. So, oh, maybe it's his AFK. I don't know. Maybe he's fallen asleep on his PC. But again, IG playing this really smart, sniping off towers here and there, and just keeping on the pressure. This is like a snake just slowly constricting its prey. Just gradually getting there.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It's one of those things where SpaceMonkeys are just being sort of moved around the map, and they're just not finding any opening at all to make something happen. And this is going to get frustrating. They may start to make some mistakes here as they feel they're the ones who should be winning these fights, but they just, I mean, there hasn't been a team fight in just 20, 30 minutes now. And it's one of those things where they are just getting very frustrated. DK has picked up the Assault Crest, does not have buyback. If he gets picked off without an Aegis, this could be trouble. And top lane, Queen of Pain, Morphling, they're looking for him. The ulti form is gone. Crystal Maiden going to cancel the Lincoln. There's a stun on Queen of Pain, a second stun. ES is looking for a blink ulti, but there's the DK BKB. Just Sven, who does get stunned by it, as Queen of Pain will take out the Crystal Main. That's okay for SpaceMonkeys. If DK got picked off there, that would have been a disaster for them. So they're just going to back off now and play it safe. Losing Crystal Main, not a really too big a concern for them.
Yeah, and I mean, they've only got 3 heroes up there, so they can't exactly push straight away. We've got Ancient Apparition nowhere near them. And I mean, if they're in serious, if this Rax does get threatened, seriously, they can just drop up there in a moment. So they only need to port the Invoker. Oh, actually, no. Enigma's all the way at bottom. If these guys don't get back Enigma, he's 30 seconds on cooldown. Ooh. I think the rating they could make something happen. Although obviously they don't know the Enigma's port is on cooldown, so they do back up here and don't put on the pressure. So this is going to be a bit of a relief for SpaceMonkeys, as Enigma has managed to spot the Morphling, but they don't have the stuns here to take him out at the moment. Need some more backup. Now they're rallying now. SpaceMonkeys moving in. They're going to try and cancel this Lincoln's with, I think Sven will use, oh no, Maleficus. Maleficus lasts for longer.
Just black hole it even. I wouldn't be surprised if they just black hole for this solo kill. Morph does the buyback. There's the blink out. Enigma maybe going to look for a black hole. He could at least get a stun off. The wave is on cooldown for a while. There's the Midnight Pulse. And Enigma not going to black hole just yet. There we go. Morphling just before he waves out. DK pops the ulti. ES. Fissure actually going to slow down a lot of this damage, and the AA ultimate trying to keep this Morphling alive. Morphling, who has no mana to wave out, but he's morphing to strength. He's still on 700 HP. Another Sven stun. This time the Lickers is back up. Sven goes down. He blocks the Sven stun, and Morphling, replicate on the DK. He can just TP home and then replicate back in, which I wouldn't be surprised if he does right here.
It's just ridiculous the way that he's just not even caring, even in the slightest. He pops some morph strength on him. They just cannot kill him at all. Just completely. And I mean, this comes because DK does not have that much damage. So he doesn't. I mean, I actually think Sven is doing more per swing at the moment if he's got God strength up, and he got taken out, stunned down, beaten down. So I mean, the DK is annoying. This is the thing with the tank DK, is it's not really a good auto attack carry. It's more just like he's not even used as this type of DK isn't even used as a primary carry. It's just he's there for his big AoE slow and to just be up front, to be that brawling hero. The kind of thing that we see the Tidehunter, the Brewmaster do, but in this case, I mean, they need something to right-click fight with the Morphling. They just don't have it. Morphling, all he had to do was put Morph Strength on. I'm sure he's not going to have any damage himself, but he's also not going to die, and he's going to have 3 heroes trying to kill him at the same time. It's completely and utterly ridiculous.
Yeah, at this point, maybe the Invoker needs to have either a Sheep Stick or a Silent Stick, something to prevent him from morphing stats. If you silence him before he starts morphing, you can. If you sheep him as well, it stops that morph stats. And so far, it's just been, he morphs to strength as soon as he gets ganked. And maybe they kill him, but they have to throw so much at him. In that case there, they didn't even kill him. And by the time they were maybe close to killing him, the Lincolns is back up. He blocks another stun. And IG are going to look to push on out, get this mid lane. As Morphling, he's taking just another free tower, and he's just cannot be killed. He's going to be going for a Skadi here with this ultimate orb, I want to say. As he still needs to make sure he has buyback, which is why he has not bought it just quite yet.
AA can apparently see the Invoker. He's out of Ghost Walk now, gets cleaned up. Does somebody have a gem? Or did that just wear off and I wasn't paying attention? As it looks like Enigma also getting caught out here. Oh no, they managed to jump. The Earthshaker, their Chime will go down. Queen of Pain getting force-staffed out of position, getting force-staffed away there by Winrunner, also blinking away, and she should escape. The buyback from Chuan, not entirely necessary, but not a big deal.
At this point in the game, he doesn't really need to buy too many new items, so he just wants to be back up. If a teammate needs him back up like this, Morphling mid actually going to get, not really jumped by the Invoker, but Invoker just throwing down some spells, gets his mana down a bit low. Gem is on the ground, Sven picking that one up, and neither team haven't gone for Roshan yet. It's just so even between these two teams. Neither team has any opening to take that Roshan, and now we're going to see DK running in mid. Does have the ultimate form up for a bit longer. He's going to get spotted out by an illusion here. Going to take out this replicate. That'll just annoy the Morphling. You won't have that to replicate into, as maybe now they'll go for this Roshan quickly, but still the problem is their lanes are just being constantly pressured from all over the place.
Yes, so much back and forth, they just cannot find a room to maneuver. As this DK now 2.2k saved up, I'm guessing he's going to hold on to that for buybacks for now until he sorts out where he wants to go with that Morphling. I think he's got enough for that Skadi. He might just want to keep enough so he can buy back at the same time. He needs about a good 1,500 gods. No, he just grabs himself. Yeah, he grabs himself another ultimate.
He has enough now. I think he has enough for the buyback as well as the Skadi, which is, we'll see him sending that out probably in just a second here. It'll cost him another 1,700 gold. So he'll still have 2k gold. He'll still have 2k gold after the Skadi, which is enough for a buyback at this point. And we'll see him just maybe even just going into that Rax, force a glyph and then wave out, or if they maybe even take the Rax, suicide for a Raxi because he's got the buyback. At the same time, we're going to see SpaceMonkeys go for Roshan, and it looks like the Radiant team not in position to stop this. Invoker is still in base, so Invoker are going to be in charge of defending this top lane, but they should be able to take Roshan and then TP back to defense.
Sven has burned his ult on. They won't have that for the fight. DK, his ult's just coming off cooldown now. Now, Windrunner has spotted that with their power shot, and Morphling just going to gun for this Rax. I don't think they might not be back in time. Oh, they will be actually. Just grabbing it right now. They will be porting back en masse. Or not, they will just sort of walk around and chase Windrunner for a bit, going the Malefice on her Midnight Pulse as well, and this means they're probably going to lose their top Rax if they keep fapping about like this. I think this may be a mistake, and IG like, you know what, I don't care, let's fine, do that, we'll take your Rax, just beat down it. Okay, they finally start porting back. Vision goes down, catches the Invoker, Glyph gets popped, and they will just manage to hold this. Another port coming in. There is an Ancient Apparition Ice Blast incoming somewhere. But the same kind of Queen of Pain threatening the bottom Rax, and they need to mobilize. And Morphling still in this top lane, still threatening this top Rax. And they need to mobilize the defense of the bottom lane. Going to try and hold that off. Meteor going down there, and Morphling just clashing with the DK. He will chase him up there.
IG are just being complete news. This is like when you're playing against a Prophet. It's not just a Prophet. This is like 3 or 4 heroes just split pushing across the map. We're going to see Morphling almost get stunned by the DK. He was morphing to strength, decides against it. Now morphing back to IG. He's got that Skadi up, 3.3k gold. And just pushing bottom, pushing top, going back and forth. Now though, IG have to defend their mid lane, but at the same time, Queen of Pain and Morphling are just going to keep on pushing out those side lanes, and they just need to find a pick-off. This is where, at this point in the game, they have to pick off either the Morphling or the Queen of Pain.
I feel like Boots of Travel are going to win this game, just map mobility. The way that IG are playing, I think they want to get lots, and I think I saw some, in Ancient Apparition, he's picked up those travels, and I mean, even Morphling might want to go, you know what, the way that he's playing, he might want to pick up some travels. Especially, I mean, he's got cash to burn. He could pick up the trade. Once he's got enough to save for a buyback at the same time. Because, I mean, it could well mean what they meant. They can just force a 5v5, even almost lose the fight. Morphling buys back and then supports back in. Win the fight, racks from there. Or even just throwing it from there. They're getting that. I mean, it's getting to that point in the game where if somebody big like DK is down, or even the Sven or something, like, that could be a game set match right there and then.
Yeah, no, I agree. But at the same time, SpaceMonkeys probably going to look for some boots of their own. DK's actually sitting on 4.2k gold. I'm kind of just hoping he goes for some pure DPS here. Maybe even the Daedalus or an MKB. He needs some damage. He can tank up more, but you can see he's not going down these fights. He has the Aegis. Morphling gets a free kill on Crystal Maiden, waving in, doing too much damage. Enigma is there. Is he going to black hole this? No, he decides against it. Morphling could have been morphing stats to strength even in that black hole, so it was not going to be a kill there. AA sneaks in, puts a ward on the high ground. The entire team spot it though, so they're going to do some dewarding here. Sven is there with a jet. Sven actually has boots of travel. So
yes, so does Invoker. Actually, you're right. SpaceMonkeys definitely. They want those travels. They want the mobility as well. So this could be very dangerous also for IG if they're not careful. And yeah, Crystal. Even it would have been a huge waste of that black hole, because I mean we saw before 3v1 they couldn't kill Morphling. That was before he had a Skadi. I still don't think even with the DK there, they wouldn't have been able to manage it. He still doesn't have any damage. He's got the Assault Cuirass. The negative armor is nice, but he's just not swinging for enough for enough straight damage yet.
Invisibility.
Yeah, no, totally agree. And right now this game is it's a stalemate in some ways. IG are the ones who have complete control. They're the ones pushing out these lanes, and if SpaceMonkeys never get a pick off, it's going to be constantly IG chipping away and slowly taking well, they're not really even slowly taking a racks because they regen, but it'll be IG waiting for an opportunity where SpaceMonkeys are a bit sloppy on defense and they find that opening to get a free racks. But so far, SpaceMonkeys have been pretty on top of their defense, as we see. Joe at top, he gets done. Enigma is there waiting. Is he going to black hole this? He gets down the midnight pulse. Joe is going to get picked off. DK going to make sure of that. Probably going to instantly buy back just to get back to pushing, but no, Morphling not going to buy back.
That was so smart. That was so smart. Sven fired the stun at the
on the creep.
The creep. Was it either the creep or the illusion or something? Yeah, a nearby target basically, just not hitting the Morphling and just getting him with that splash stun. Very, very smart from him.
Yeah, otherwise the Lincolns would have triggered. Yeah, I definitely agree. That was some really smart play from Sven. As now they've still got to worry about bottom lane. They want to push down mid. ES has taken over from the Morphling as the top lane pusher. He's just going to be spamming this out maybe. And there's the buyback from Morphling. I'm wondering if he's going to consider maybe buying a boots of travel and TPing top. He's going to just head towards the mid lane though, as SpaceMonkeys not finding the opportunity they were after the push. And bottom lane, Dan the Invoker in a bit of trouble. There goes the Queen of Pain ulti, but Dan still with plenty of HP, forces down, and we'll see Enigma TP in. Enigma does have that black hole.
Yeah, Invoker still had his BK up. I think he wasn't in any dire threat there. As it looks like they're going to move in, going to chase off Ferrari. Or Ferrari actually just going to back up. Invoker is speeding in the lane towards him. And yeah, I'm surprised. I'm really surprised that we haven't seen a Travels yet on Morphing, just because of the way he's playing. He could really make use of it, but maybe he's just you know what, going to pick up like a huge damage item, like you said, you know, when the game goes this late, Rapier it really is a viable choice, and I mean that could be what they need to bust this game wide open, something like that, something huge. So let's see what's happening here. Queen of Pain, she's got her Hex up and running. It's a possible note that's just an illusion harassing the crap out of DK. And his illusion is so tanky, he can't even deal that much damage to it. It's ridiculous. Look how long it is taking DK to try and kill his own illusion. It's just retarded. Even the flame breath.
Yeah, and in these team fights, Morphling is just going to chuck that replicate on the DK when he uses the ulti as well, which is going to be really annoying. We may even see the Dire team looking to get something. Sven's stunning this. Look at this. They're just chasing down this illusion. They're not even going to be able to kill it. I mean, they maybe even just have to get a sheep stick to get rid of that replicate, because the replicate itself is tanky and hard to kill. DK up to 6.5k gold, really wondering what he's going to get. Maybe even Divine Rapier at this point. He's got the Aegis, man. Come on, this is where you've got to go. Go big or go home. This is the group deciding match. Not to decide who wins the group, but to decide who gets the 4th place position and still stays alive in the playoffs. The loser of this will be out of the tournament. So this, if any, is the time for a DK to get a Divine Rapier. I have faith. Come on, do it, DK.
I think
we'll have to wait and see, though.
SpaceMonkeys
I don't think it will.
I think SpaceMonkeys, if anybody's going to do it, SpaceMonkeys might, but I don't think IG can, just because they're really conservative for what we're seeing, especially when they're under pressure. They tend to just be very, very safe. And like we're seeing here, this is a relatively safe style of play, just because you might think it's weird, but it's safe, because they're not forcing any real big engagements. So there's like no real big engagements to lose. All they have to watch out for is just not getting ganked. And as long as they've got that buyback money, well, the chances of it happening, like you see how often Joe there gets successfully ganked. It's very rare. He's been killed exactly, I think, once in the last 15 minutes. As we see the Chinese, I think the Chinese broadcaster's gotten so bored he's gone home. But God, it really is a star map. 7K, like this is, I think it's the most money I've seen sitting on a hero, like legitimately sitting on a hero, not when they're at the face, just like complete and utter steamroll stomp stage. The fact that this game is so tight still, and the fact that DK is sitting on 7,000 gold.
They do force a buyback from Invoker. They've got to defend both top and bottom. Once again, Morphling just sending in those illusions onto the rack. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Queen of Pain forced the Blinker out, and there we see Windrunner, Scythe of Vice. This game has gone on long enough that this Windrunner, who has not really found any farm at all, has finally got his Scythe of Vice as well, and all these heroes are going to start picking up more and more big items. Sven, though, the Dire team, with their supports, heroes like Sven, no BKB, and not too many items on them, and that's a bit of a problem. I mean, heroes like ES and AA could do much more in a late game scenario. I mean, AA has 4-star, Boots of Travel, and Drum of Endurance, whereas the CM, the Sven, just going to be very limited in what they can do, except maybe provide 1 stun or 1 disable with a Frostbite in a team fight.
It looks like Invoker actually doing a lot of damage to that Morphin. Morphin, holy crap, and actually needing to back up there. Getting absolutely hammered by Cold Snap. Sven, now, I think he's getting a BKB. He's got his Ogre Club up and running. He's also got 2... I mean, everybody right now is probably saying, even the poor-ass supports will be saved for buybacks, except maybe Crystal Man, who just flat-out can't afford it. But they're giving Sven a little bit of farm. Tornado being used there on Joe. Joe happened to back up. Forward Spirits and Cold Snap are just not working for him, just doing way too much damage. Has Invoker got an Argonauts? Yes, he's got an Argonauts. He's had that for a little while, so he can actually zoom through his spell list, which is going to help him out a little bit. But at the same time, a lot of pressure. Like, this is really safe.
All over.
Yeah, this is really safe from actually the fact that they're not forcing any team fights, but they're keeping the wave. Like, you can't win if the creep waves are all up at your base. You can't take Raxes, and you just cannot finish the game. So this is, and especially this might be an issue playing like this very slow style if they didn't have the superior late game. Just because their Morphling is probably going to win out. They don't have to worry about an anti-mage getting retardedly fat or something. So this is just
DK 8k gold. DK's up to 8k gold now. Queen of Pain has been literally spamming ultimate on creep wave and doesn't have any mana problems with the size of Vice. We'll probably see Queen of Pain just ulti the next creep wave here just to keep these lanes pushed. And they're going to go Morphling at top. Enigma, no black hole as of yet. They get enough nukes down. Morphling though, 5k gold, does have the buyback if he needs to die. Actually lose their career, and here they go. They are going in bottom lane as they pop the glyph. DK with an ultimate, looking for a stun, may get the Ancient Apparition. Ancient Apparition may just have buyback. Yes, Ancient Apparition does have buyback if they need, but 2 kills there. SpaceMonkeys find a bit of an opening, and Windrunner going to swing towards top lane, take over Morphling's duty of keeping that top lane pushed out.
Yeah, I mean, this Morphling just needs to be a little bit more careful. Like, they've lost... They used to have these wards up here at the plateau, which was giving Morphling a little bit of vision, but SpaceMonkeys, because... And there is the Rapier. There is the Rapier. DK's got... How long has he got on the Aegis? That's the question. He's had that for a while
Probably
now.
Not long. I don't think it's going to be up there for very long at all. I'd give it maybe a minute or two. And so they are going to go maybe straight mid for the throne. Ignore that winner on top. The problem is, they must know Morphling has buyback. Maybe they think Ancient Apparition does, but obviously Morphling farming that dangerously. He's had that Sky for such a long time. Morphling will buy back.
They need to pull back.
Well,
DK's ult is almost off.
They can fight. Yeah, that's true. DK's ult is almost gone. They may just have to back off here, especially with the Aegis gone soon. Bottom lane, sorry, Queen of Pain in a bit of trouble here. Tornado gonna hit as Sven stun, still on cooldown. This is the problem with this freaking Sven. 15-second cooldown on stun. He is going to find the Queen of Pain. It does get blocked.
They're going to lose Rapier. Black Hole going to cover him there. DK getting hexed, so he has no damage output. He's going to get cleaned up here. Pops the BKB. He's a little bit too late. No, he gets some Morphling. He's very, very low. Ancient Apparition ult misses it. Dome for Divine Rapier is on the floor. They need to pick up. Windrunner goes for it. Gets cleaned up. Now Invoker. Is it Invoker? Who's got the Rapier? No. Enigma's picked it up, and they need to get it. They need to get it the hell out of there. They shouldn't hang around. They should just back up. I thought Sven might get it for a second, but no. It doesn't transfer ownership anyway, so it's...
DK almost lived there, and the fact they actually kept the Rapier as well is massive, and with this, Morphling is down, DK buying back, he's going to come back mid, take that Divine Rapier back, because the Enigma can't actually use it.
Oh yeah,
and they maybe get another Rax, and DK Ultimate's up in 5 seconds.
Oh, IG may be out of this tournament in just a second. The stuns go down on Queen of Pain. She gets frostbitten. There is Cold Snap as well, doing a lot of damage. She will just barely get away as Invoker pops his BKB. He's really playing it fine on the line here. But the big issue is, and there's that Rapier getting swapped over. Morphling down for 50 seconds, and they just don't have an answer now to the Dragon Knight. Look at the damage. Just going to destroy Windrunner. Once her Windrunner comes off cooldown, or it stops proccing and defending it, they're giving her that evasion. Or not, she will just sort of force stuff out of that, and here we go, they're going to push for the tower, just going to obliterate that tower. Alacrity as well. Glyph gets popped to defend them. Queen of Pain losing health rapidly. Cold Snap as well. The Hex comes in though, he's BK, he needed to BKB, didn't BKB, getting hit, he might lose the Rapier again, healing up there, the mech being used to help him out. Do we have an Ice Blast up? Sen is down, the gem is down the ground, nobody cares, so they really want this Rapier. BKB again, very late from DK, very late BKB, and decided, screw it, we need to back up here. Although they might get taken at the Shackle Shot, the Fissure, they will lose the Rapier! Morphling's up in 8 seconds, and now Queen of Pain is the owner, the brand new owner. Oh, SpaceMonkeys, they had this. They had this, and they threw it away. Just a late, again, BKB, twice on DK. Both fights, he used it when he had less than 500.